Welcome to Daily Bread. As always, this message is timeless, which means whenever you find this reading, or whenever this reading finds you, is when you're meant to see it. So please take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. Go ahead and press that like button, follow, share with someone who you may care about, and consider subscribing. The energy's already been cleared. Let's get started. Let's go ahead and ask Source, what is the energy we need to focus on for today's message? What is the energy we need to focus on for today's message? All right, this one wanted to pop out. I'll take it. Surrender. Okay, I see Source is trying to tell you right now that somebody has been in a position where they are finally starting to accept that in order for them to be able to effectively move through the world, they need to realize that they cannot control everything. So I see someone who is in a position of surrendering to the things they can control. And what that means is Source wants you to know that when you are looking at things that seem to be outside of your control or outside of your sphere of influence, what you're really being asked to do is not surrender to the things that are outside of your control that make you feel weak and powerless, but surrender to the things that are within your control and let those be the things that you focus on. Let those be the things that overwhelm your thoughts. Let the things that you have power in surrender to your power. Is what Source is telling you. Source is in you, and that's what it means. That's what Emmanuel means. That's what it means to have God in your heart and in your spirit. Whatever religion, whatever religious background you're from, I'm trying to speak in as many spiritual tongues as possible because I know you're listening. But I really see someone is starting to feel that spark of divinity within themselves, and they're going to surrender to that. And that is what Sources need you to understand right now, is when you surrender to that, that is when you start to gain control over even things that you seem like you don't have control over. So let's dig into it. We're going to pull 3 cards. To ask us for more clarity on how we can apply surrender to our lives. Source, what are you trying to tell us about surrender in our lives? One more card. One more card, please. Good. So, I have for us the Queen of Cups, the 4 of Pentacles, and the Star. So yeah, I'm really seeing that someone has been really stuck in their feelings a little bit. And it's interesting because sometimes we think of being stuck in your feelings as a bad place, but you were being asked to sit and meditate on what you feel. Because I'm seeing that I'm talking to someone who has a tendency to take on the feelings of others but kind of ignore what they're feeling. So you were sitting in your own feelings for a while. And in this sitting in your own feelings, at first you started to feel overwhelmed. But I see that someone was able to surrender to the fact that those feelings are actually a part of you. And when you try to ignore them or suppress them, they will find other ways to manifest themselves in your life. And it's time to surrender to that power within you. To say, you know what, these feelings that I have, they're important, they're telling me something, and I can feel my feelings without having to walk around with them on my sleeve if I surrender to allow myself to process them. And what I see is that someone is using that to come out of a hurt space. So I see someone who maybe had like a financial setback, or maybe they had something that was, or like an emotional setback or relationship setback, or I see maybe someone lost someone, and I'm sorry for your loss. There was definitely some kind of a separation. So there was definitely some kind of an ending. Maybe it was a job ending, and someone thought, okay, this defines me now. Maybe there was a layoff I see, and you were cut off from your source of community for a while. You were cut off from your greater source of payment. You really felt like you were out in the wilderness here for a while. But I really see that someone took that time in their feelings to assess what they have, and they found their hope, which is what I'm seeing in this star card. And I'm seeing that someone has found that they have skills, they have talents, they have abilities, they have resources that they didn't really know that they had because they weren't paying attention to them. So now I see someone who's really going to grab the future by they're going to lasso their future down. They see that our future needs to be green. They see that our future needs to be sustainable. They see that there are things in our society that needs to be fixed. And you see ways now that you can take your skills and apply hope to that and make change around you. So I see someone who's about to make a change in their personal life. I see someone who's been feeling like they've been on the ground for a while, and I see that someone is about to finally stand up. And I see that someone is about to like really get on their own feet. So I see someone who's probably about to move into their own space. I see someone who actually maybe you just secured a space for a business that you want. Someone definitely made a space for themselves. I definitely see someone make space for themselves to give time to things that are going to bring their future closer to them. So I see someone really asking themselves, what can I do with my time to make my dreams more of a reality? So let's ask for one more card. We're going to pull an oracle card just for any actions or advice and close this out. Observer. Yep. So someone who had been sitting in their feelings, you spend enough time observing what's going on inside of you. You spend some time connecting to yourself. And sometimes when we think of the observer card, we think of someone who is outward looking, but observation also needs to be inward looking. Because even when we look outside of ourselves, what we see in the world outside of us is really somewhat of a projection of the world inside of us. And someone has finally seen that, and they're going to start taking advantage of that. They're going to start taking control of the things, surrendering to the things that they see and feel in themselves. And when you master those feelings and you start understanding how to process your own emotions and your own feelings to make those things work for you, to add to the skills that you have to help make your manifestations and your dreams and realities happen quicker, you're going to realize that those projections that you make on people, places, and things will also change, and you'll start to see amazing changes in your circumstances. So congratulations, and thank you for tuning in to Daily Bread. Please take what resonated with you, leave the rest for someone else. Go ahead and press that like button and that follow button, leave a comment, share with someone you care about, and consider subscribing. Until next time, thank you.